Let's see. All right, so now I believe we are live. All right, so in case it wasn't recording earlier, let's go ahead and start with our introduction today. So welcome to today's live stream. We've got a really cool program set up today and some things that we definitely want to discuss in our hour time that we've allotted here. Let me give you a background on who I am. My name is Paul. I'm a content creator. I'm also a brand ambassador with the Wondershare team. Been doing it for about a year now. I'm actually a video editor, video producer, and I also do a lot of freelance work. And when I was first approached by Wondershare, it just made sense to kind of do this collaboration because a lot of their tools actually translate into the work that I like to do. Now you might be thinking, what does a video editor need with mind mapping and ideation tools? Well, as will be the theme of today's video, it doesn't matter whether you're a student, whether you're just getting back into school, whether you're running your own business, whether you're working as an engineer. There's a lot of great features between these two tools here that help you not only share your ideas, but also brainstorm, collaborate, and also visualize some of the themes or things that you want to present to your colleagues or things that you're working on. And the two tools we're talking about today are EdrawMax as well as EdrawMind. EdrawMind, I think for a lot of people is a good starting point, especially if you're a student right now, because as you're probably taught from a very young age, bullet pointing your ideas, formulating your thoughts into some kind of order and using relationships is kind of a core principle to a good, whether you're doing a presentation, an essay, or any kind of argumentative work, as opposed to being off the cuff, Even with this presentation here, I have my notes on the left-hand side, which I'll be referring to just to make sure I'm keeping on track, staying on schedule. There's a lot of great reasons why you'd want to do that. And EdrawMind is basically helping you do that, visualize that in a modern way, as opposed to using pencil and paper, which not saying that's not a great tool to use, of course, if that's what you have and that's what works with you. But for a lot of people, whether you want to collaborate or you want to expand upon your mind maps, whether you want to expand upon your thoughts later or actually, things change over time. So with regards to that, that's why having it in digital form makes a lot of sense. In fact, even back when I was in school a few years ago, starting to digitize your notes was a great way to, make sure you always have it, you never lose it. And then again, if you need to refer to it, whether it's later in the semester for some other chapter in the course, or even for a completely different course, whether it's part 2 of the course, having those notes there, you can pull from them, copy as needed, and it's always there, it's clean, it's ready to go. And again, that's really the theme with these programs. You're digitizing your notes, but now these are supercharged notes, if you will. And EdrawMind, again, the basics of it is that you're taking those ideas, you're expanding on them in mind maps. So let's take you through the website. But before I actually do that, I want to show you the second program that we'll be jumping into. We'll be doing a little bit of jumping back and forth here for just a bit, but we do have a lot to cover, so I want to make sure that we give you a good introduction as to what we are covering today. All right. Give me 1 second here. All right. So that's EdrawMind. EdrawMax, on the other hand, does have some overlaps with EdrawMind. However, with Max, there's a big focus on creating diagrams. So whether you're an engineer or a student or in some other kind of industry, there are so many great tools here for creating diagrams, networking, floor plans. So this is even a completely different direction to be taking your tool into. Organizational charts, ER diagrams, genograms. There's a lot of great templates that you can use, and that's actually going to be another thing between these two programs, just the ease of just jumping into it. Because in all honesty, And I can even say this from my own experience. When using these tools, there's still a lot I don't know about them, but the programs are pretty much very intuitive and they invite you to try out their new tools. And for the most part, once you get a bit of a feel for the program, it's not all that intimidating. Another key similarity between the two programs is the use of AI that's built into it now. So obviously ChatGPT is a big subject in today's world, for better or for worse. Excuse me. And obviously there's the benefits of it. So it helps us maybe, I think a really great example of how AI has helped a lot of people is, especially whether you're maybe English isn't your first language or you have some kind of learning impairment, using AI can help you overcome some of the struggles that you might not be too familiar with, whether it's a language barrier or some kind of learning barrier. AI can help not so much act as a crutch, but can assist you in ways that perhaps, conventional ways of learning or doing things doesn't necessarily work. AI is very powerful in that sense. I'll actually tell you from personal experience, something that I use AI a lot for is with my own website. And I can put in queries like, I need to change the size of this box or change the color of this, or I can even say, hey, I like how this element looks on this website. What can I do in order to do something similar on my own website? And then AI can understand what languages, software languages, development languages you're using and help you code, basically. So even as someone with no background, AI has helped with that. With regards to here, and this is actually my most, the part of these tools that I like the most is it's a great starting point for your ideas. So we'll actually jump into a few essay questions later back in EdrawMind, explaining how we can use these AI tools to start ideas and help brainstorm. And it can be a great way to study, a great way to formulate essays, and so on. Excuse me. So again, EdrawMax focuses more on our charting and diagrams, whereas EdrawMind is more on the brainstorming. Again, Max does have some overlap here where you can do your mind maps in here, but just with some of the collaboration tools that we'll also discuss regarding EdrawMind, some of the simplicity as well, because it's a little bit more straightforward, simple. You can see there's some great like emoji-like icons that you can use and stuff like that. It's just a little bit more accessible to people who maybe don't want to jump right into the deep end right away. Beyond that, there's a lot of great compatibility between our two tools, not just for Windows or Mac OS as I am on now. You can also access on the web, Linux, there's iOS and Android apps as well. And another thing, and we'll show this as well, there's a lot of great diagram and built-in templates that we can actually use either for a starting point, just for, again, brainstorming, so to speak, or as something that we can fill in or tweak and get a great result right away. Of course, between our two tools, there's several years of experience. It's used in hundreds of countries and millions of users. So it's really exciting to be part of this team right now, and we have a lot to cover. So just jumping back to my outline here, that's our quick overview of them. Of course, if you are new to our channel here or any of our programs, we do have our EdrawMind and our EdrawMax channels on YouTube. So again, this is going to be our first live stream, so it might have a couple hiccups here and there. But if you want to learn more about some of the specifics, we actually have a number of videos on our channel which dive into the specifics. So for example, maybe you're just focusing on creating essays and you want to know how you can actually use EdrawMind specifically for that. We have videos regarding that. So you can just watch a 7 or 8 minute video rather than this 1 hour live stream. And you'll have a great understanding of how to do that specifically to those needs. Again, this is more of an overview talking about our programs, the direction we're going in, some of the similarities. And as people jump into our live chat right now, if there are any questions as well, that's where we can help you out there. All right. So just making sure everything is running well. Duplicate stream key. Hold on here for just a second. Let's make sure everything's running quickly. Live. All right. All right. So sorry, that's just part of doing these live streams. There's a lot of variables going on here, and I just want to make sure everything is going well. We got a hello and a thumbs up. Hello and thumbs up back to you. Hope you're having an awesome day. Like I said, if you've got any questions, I'll do my best here to follow along with our live chat and help you answer some of those questions. So again, that's the websites for them. Let's jump right into the programs. That's a good enough intro, I believe. Now, first thing we're going to be discussing is EdrawMind. Like I said, if you're a student and you're trying to brainstorm ideas, you're a freelancer, you've got your own business, formulating a great idea is a great start. And honestly, this is, even if you feel like it's a little bit basic, you can expand upon this and do some really incredible things. Once we're in the program, let me show you how our UI works. You've got, your main tools on the left-hand side: opening, new document, importing, cloud documents. So another tool or crossover between these, you can save your documents to the cloud. So long as you log in with your same account, you'll be able to access it at a later point from all your devices, which is really great. Mind Map Gallery. Now this is where, whether it's myself, whether it's you, anyone else has the ability to save their diagrams and share it with the community. So if you think you've created a really great way to, maybe it's on the theme of World War II, and you're like, hey, I know this can help a lot of other students, whether it's people also in your class that you just want to specifically share it with, or the larger community. As you can see here, I know nothing about surgery, but I can pull this up and open it up really quickly and learn about the triumph of surgery. I'm not sure what specifically that's related to. Greedy. So this must be, maybe that's a book, honestly. Yeah, it's like the outline for it. George Orwell, 1984. We can duplicate it, we can open it, and we can view it. So this is what I mean. Like, a lot of people have done a lot of hard work creating these, and there's a good chance, let's be honest, schools aren't necessarily the most original. So you guys honestly have it really easy right now if you're a student, because there's just so much information online to help guide you, to help you learn more, to help you see what other people have come up with. And again, Wondershare has tapped into that and created their own really awesome community, so you don't have to jump between different resources. It's right in your tool, and if we like it, and I'll show you in a bit, you can open it or duplicate it and turn it into your own thing. But for right now, we're going to start with new. Now, this is what's super awesome. We have local templates as well as those Mind Map Gallery, the community ones. So depending on what we're trying to do, again, whether you're in marketing, you're doing some kind of book analysis, you're in environmental studies, right away, we've covered a number of our classes right here with just certain themes. A common one, I believe, is going to be book analysis. So we're going to jump into that in just a bit. So we can start right there and look at that. We have a pretty, common outline for what you would do for an analysis of a book. So you don't have to, create this skeleton to start with. You have it right away. And you can even see just how this works. So let's go over this. So our main topic is right in the middle. And of course, we can change our colors, make it as pretty as we want. We have themes. And the most exciting thing is going to be the AI when we talk about that in a little bit. So whether you're doing a book report or anything else on that topic, in fact, here's one that I want to show you really quickly. Event planning. So this is actually, look at the similarities here. Very same structure. But once you actually change what's in these boxes, you know, it turns into something just as powerful for another subject, another topic. So in this case, this actually has a lot of overlap with stuff that I do. I'm not on this side, but I do work with a lot of event planners, and I definitely appreciate a good event planner. And a good event planner, I guarantee you, is using tools like this to some extent, whether they're bullet pointing it or they're using it in a mind map format. So obviously you've got the date, start and finish, the venue, all the details regarding the venue. So that's the address, floor plan. From here, this is something where we could add, if we had an accompanying image, we could put it right there if it made sense and we wanted to refer to all that information on one page. Moving on, the guest list. What kind of invitation list? So maybe you could have family. You could have the wedding party. You could have friends. And then from here, the invitations. These are the kinds of invitations that you've sent out. Generally, I wouldn't do like a verbal invitation. I think everything right now is email. So, in fact, you know, just for us, we're tweaking it right now. Who uses Post? All right, acceptance list. This probably, in all honesty, doesn't really make too much sense here. You're not going to put all the people that have accepted, but maybe what you could keep track of. Not responded. You can keep track of, maybe just because it's a shorter list, and say this is coming down to like the last month. These are people who haven't responded, and then you can keep a track of all the names there. And then from here, we can do a subtopic. So let's say John S, Mary K, and Tyler M. These are people who haven't responded. The subtopic could be sick, can't make it. We can put a subtopic of let's see, work related, and then Tyler M. Tyler M, we can say needs follow-up. So a quick way, we just went with this event planning. I tweaked it just a little bit to make it something that fit our needs. And of course, we can take this even further. Themes, we want it to be speak easy. I think that's one word. Maybe 1920s. So from here, what makes speak easy? So we can take this even further and brainstorm a lot of other ideas. So we can say black and gold. This kind of relates to our decoration as well. And that's okay if you have a little bit of overlap. As you can see here, we can create relationships. So we can draw from here, black and gold. Say we need black and gold balloons. And there we go. We made another relationship onto the decorations. But this is the theme, 1920s. So take that even further. Subtopic. Tuxes, tuxedos. And what else do we want the theme? Let's say the person also likes video games. Who knows? That's actually probably what I would do. So a lot of overlap there. And again, we can say a lot of these themes need to overlap with the decorations. And like I was saying earlier, if, for example, we wanted to then add a table, we can then say, okay, video games that we also want to somehow loop into this event planning for a wedding. Let's say, I don't know, what am I playing now? Fallout, Cyberpunk, Battlefield. It's all over the place. Again, this part doesn't really make that much sense, but I just want to show you really quick. Red Dead Redemption 2. Hit OK. And now we've got our video game related subtopic, which now has a table. So we've already shown you a couple really powerful ways of showing connections and some of the other ways you can insert other types of ideas, typically not necessarily found in a mind map. But hey, because we have all these great ways to formulate it and create it, we can now see it visually in a beautiful way without it looking too crazy. And speaking of crazy, let's say as we expand this out, things do get a little bit crazy, right? And we just want to focus in on certain parts. We can start with nothing. We can start to minimize things. Like we're not focusing on the guest right now. We don't need to be distracted by this side at all, right? Minimize all that. We're only worried about the logistics. Minimize that too. And there you go. So that's a mind map for event planning. And similar ways, very similar overlap with a book analysis. So something that you can also do, like I said, you can change these up as required. So whether it's a certain prompt or just you want to take it in your own direction, we can make our own subtopic, again, from up here, which will then turn it in here. So I'll actually show you that. Oops. You can delete all that. So from here, let's create our put it over there, but that's fine. And then let's say, subtopic for the analysis of the book. We can say themes. Oops, that's not how you spell themes. Themes, bold it. And then from here, we can then turn it into multiple topics. We can bullet point it. So what would be multiple topics that would fall under themes? It's been a while since I've done an essay, but we can say themes of color. We can say themes of, let's see, foreshadowing be a theme. Yeah, just for the heck of it, foreshadowing. And use of imagery. Those are themes. So just quickly, we now took what I would normally do, just bullet pointing things, and it said, okay, those are your 3 bullet points. Boom. Now they're under your themes, and you quickly have that added to the rest of your mind map. Other things I want to draw your attention to, you can see another relationship line here. So again, if there's a relationship between our inspirations and our big ideas in this book, boom, now we can see the overlap there. And again, let's say you're then taking this into the writing stage. You're actually turning it into paragraphs. Now we know at some point during the actual essay writing process, as we're mentioning our inspiration, we're going to be relating back to our big ideas here in some way or another. Obviously, that's up to you as it makes sense. The last thing I want to show you on this page specifically is how we can also order things. So whether it's in order of importance or, for example, you can do weights. So, for example, I'm going to spend most of my time in this part of the essay. So I'm going to place more emphasis on our subtopic 1, whatever that is. Or you can even say, okay, this is going to be paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever makes sense to you. So that is how we can use it for our analysis for a book. So super cool there. Before switching into the really cool part here, I want to show you another thing. So this is a marketing plan. So it could be, let's see, specifically this one could be the release of a video game. It could be the release of a book. It could be the marketing plan for your entire business, whether you're like me, you're a videographer and you're trying to promote yourself, you're trying to expand your business, hire people. This is a lot of the overview for your marketing plan. And a marketing plan can, of course, take a lot of different formats, including entire booklets, which you might present at like a board meeting. But this is a great way, a great overview, especially if you're just trying to brainstorm your idea, again, the creation stage of things. You're starting with your marketing plan. What kind of products and services are you going to be offering here? So again, we can take this further really quickly here and add several topics. So in my case, just We'll do videography, photo, let's say events. Oops. Events, let's say even consulting. Boom. Okay. And there it is right there. I don't need this one. Delete. Simple. And of course, from here, we have all of our different formatting. So we can change the formatting of everything. I like this color better. It just resonates with me a little bit better. There it is. Okay, we have one question about the clip art gallery. I got you. I'll get to that in just a second. Actually, really closely. So look, we've got some other really cool things right here. Just this isn't quite clip art, but this is how I want to, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, events, Amazon, this is how I'm going to be selling my stuff. So we're using different symbols, stars, faces, whatever makes sense to you, whatever makes sense for your business. That's what we're doing. And we've got it right here available on the right-hand side. Now you asked for clip art. So clip art is actually our fourth tab over. So again, you don't have to use words or explain it in this way. If it makes sense for you to add clip art instead, we can add it below there, and let's find something related to place. This makes more sense for place, right? So I'll delete this one. So clip art is a great way to do that. And speaking of how we can formulate our ideas a little bit more, we don't have to use words. So say, for example, when we're doing our mind maps, instead of having topic 1, 2, and 3, this first topic is magnetism, right? It's just so much easier and quicker for me to create my thoughts using images. My next topic is, I don't know, astronomy, right? Boom. And then my next one is, let's just say this is travel. What kind of realistic overall theme we would have here, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe for you, quickly putting out your thoughts, it's just easier for you to do it with images through the form of clip art. That's how you can do that really quickly. Before jumping into EdrawMax, I want to show you one other cool thing that, again, I absolutely love here. So, like we were saying a little bit earlier, AI is so influential right now and a really powerful tool. So what can we do? Well, what if we implemented it with our mind maps? How does that work? Boom. We're going to click here. Edraw AI. I've been talking a lot about video games right now, so let's keep that train rolling. Let's say we want to know the stages of creating a video game. We can keep it kind of vague like that. Let's do that. Let's see. Creating a video game. And let's see what it can do for us. So our main topic, and look at this, it's already expanding it. I mean, the page is barely open, and here we are, we're already into it. It's like, okay, you need game design, art and graphics. I can't even keep up planning and concept. Boom, boom, boom. And this is what I was saying earlier. So I myself, I know what a video game is. I know a lot of the elements that go into a video game, but I've never created a video game. So whether you're trying to get into a new business, a new topic, you're learning about a new topic again, back into the whole, I'm a student or I'm studying for something. I just learned so much about this topic in a very easy to follow diagram. And now I have all this information. And again, like I was saying, whoa, this is overwhelming. Let's start small. I'm going to subtract a little bit. I want to just learn about the game design specifically. All right. So we've got game design. We've got our 3 further subtopics: the world and environment, characters and their abilities, interfaces and control, so UI, how you actually interact with it. And now, what else do we got here? All right. We've got design visually appealing landscapes and architectures, and so on. But you want to see something even cooler. Let's say I want to take this even further. I want to learn even more about it. So let's do free play. So I want to learn more about how do I create an appealing landscape or architecture in my games. In just a few seconds, not even, it's given me even more information about that subtopic. So very powerful way. And we have a very informative mind map that we've created really quickly. So in this case, it was creating a video game, but it could be something totally different. It could be a topic you're learning about, whether it's science, history, etc. And we have our entire mind map created. And of course, whether it's something specific that you are, let's say it's an assignment specifically for school, so not you, your personal business or whatever, you tweak this as you need to. So this is a good starting point. But let's say planning and concept just isn't related to what I'm learning or what I'm trying to present. I can get rid of that completely. And again, replace as necessary. These are starting points. These are not the final thing, though they can be. But to make the most of this, you also have to have a little bit of intuition here. The last thing I want to show you really quickly is how we can create an essay here. So I just quickly looked up popular essay questions. This happened to be, I asked about popular ones regarding World War II. So this can be a great way for you to learn about a subject again, become more familiar with it, maybe approach from different angles. Again, this is a very common one. Was World War II necessary? So I want to learn about that. I don't know too much at this point. What do I do? So I have it shown here, but we're actually going to go back to File. We're going to create another one using our AI. So essay, oops. War II was necessary. And 3, 2, 1. Da-da-da. So it's starting with the causes, the progression. World politics. So that's one way. So we can actually, let's say, I'm trying to help it go in a different direction. Who benefited from World War II? Let's see if it can do this one. This is a little bit weird. All right. Can it do this one? Oh, this is so cool. Like I said, sometimes I'm like, can it really do this? And then it's not mind map. It's blowing my mind. It knows we're talking about World War II. If it was necessary, it knows this is a subtopic under who benefited from World War II. We're specifically talking about the United States. Look at all of these answers right here. So taking this even further, let's say your essay was about, maybe you needed to talk about a specific country who benefited from World War II. Now, instead of starting here and writing an essay about was it necessary, we can take it into a more specific approach, get some bonus points from the teacher, and talk about how the United States benefited from World War II. Incredible. So that is mind mapping with EdrawMind. So if there's any questions here before we move on, just let me know. I'm going to pause here for a second, go over my notes. All right, so no other questions here. No worries. Before I move on to EdrawMax, I'll show you another cool thing. So again, like I was saying, we've got that cool community tab. We put a lot of work into this right now, and maybe we want to share it with our classmates, someone else who's taking the same course. You know, just you want to help out in some way. Or again, this was your portion right here that you're working on. So now you have your part of the assignment rolling, ready to go. The other folks on your project team, they need to work over here so we can share this with other people and they can actually collaborate with us on this. And that was, again, one of the cool features about our mind mapping tool. It's the ability to collaborate. Let me see where that tab is real quick. I know it was on here. Where'd you go? Switch between multiple nodes. Sync. Yep. So we can easily export it as different files. So whether you're trying to do it as an image, pause, or HTML, PDF, whatever your assignment requires you to submit it as, boom, that's fine. But beyond that, there's also that online cloud syncing and real-time collaboration. So we have the ability to real-time collaboration, stop going so fast, and we can share our document really quickly. So we have a share tab on the right-hand side here, which will pull up in just a bit. You can share the direct link. You can tell the link when it expires, embedded code, so if you want to put it right on the website, as well as, like I said, publishing it to the community. So you felt like it was something that a lot of other people can benefit from. Awesome. Now it's on the community. So that's how we can share. That's how we can publish. And last thing, I promise, anytime you have questions about this, there's a lot of great resources, not just in the program. So there's beginner's guides, help centers. You can learn about the shortcuts, the new features. But of course, like I said, on our official YouTube page, both for EdrawMind, as we're talking about this, and EdrawMax, a lot of great tutorials are up there to help you. And if you have other specific questions, just ask there. Our community is always here to help, and we're just always excited to get more people into this. All right, so that's EdrawMind. So wrapping up with that, a lot. I know we discussed a lot there. We're almost at our hour time, but I want to obviously discuss Max next. So we're going to open this up just a little bit more. Boom. Boom. All right. If things look a little bit crazy to you at times, it is because I have a super wide, what is my monitor? It's basically two 27-inch monitors next to each other. Oh, I have a 49-inch monitor. So I basically have two big tabs here, and I just have to be careful with how I size things. So we didn't have any questions there. We're moving on to EdrawMax. And before I get into the program, let's do a quick look at their site again. So again, we are mostly charting in this one. There's mind map within it, but the benefit of this program is all the other things that it can do: flow charting, network diagrams, floor plans, etc. So if you're someone who needs that for your industry, for whatever you're trying to plan out, we can do that really quickly. So we are going to show you the home page here. So welcoming you to the home page. Get rid of biology. We're not searching for anything. Your home page is going to look like this. You can start with a blank canvas. You can start with specific types of charts. So again, there's the mind map, which we just did, but we already went over that. So our basic flow chart. So we start here. We're going to go to this, this, and this. This relates to this. We have if and statements. If this is true, go here. And let's actually show you some templates really quickly so you can get a great idea, understanding what you would do. A flow chart. Let's do, what's something I can kind of, fast food, product delivery flow chart, enrollment process, print string. All right, let's do the enrollment process. All right. So again, this is a great way to understand relationships between different variables. In this case, we're talking about the enrollment procedure. So you're a student. What are we doing here? You're enrolling for a regular section. Yes, no. If no, we're going to follow this area here. You can leave. And so no, this is a little bit of a basic one. There aren't really too many variables there. That's just basically an immediate, you can leave. All right, you are. You may come to school at a certain time. Are you an enrollee? Yes. You may enter the campus. Okay, this is a little bit of a basic one here, but do you have all the requirements? This is another one that's either going to take us to stay at the gate. I don't really like this one, to be honest. This one's a little bit confusing. So let's go on to another one here. API data, But as I'm going down here, you can see we're talking about finance. We're talking about the healthcare industry, business process. I should know that. All right. So what happens when a customer raises an issue? We're going to go here, look at the provided support page. Support page has related information. There's a solution, provide all the details about the solution. Great. It doesn't have a solution. So then they're going to create a query. They're going to connect with the support team. They're going to hopefully resolve the issue, support engineers, and then they're going to update the system or the support page at that point to hopefully help people go down this way. I assume it's probably taxing, time consuming, requires a lot of money to maintain your IT support team, and you want to have people have their problems answered more quickly through the support team page. And maybe throughout here, they'll be able to see, oh, we have a lot of issues regarding whatever query. We should update our page, maybe our program even, so that they don't have those issues and it's fixed. You can understand that. So I like this. We can use this immediately. Boom. So maybe I'm doing a website that relates to that in some way. I now have a great process flow. In fact, I don't even want to call this, I want to call this IT support process. No, you know what? Support flowchart. So we're renaming that. So as you can see, everything moves around really well. All our relationships also follow along really well. You can see formatting tools like the spacing there. If you're OCD like me a little bit and you want to just make sure everything looks really pretty, you have the ability to do that as well, depending on, again, what works well for you. I think a lot of this comes down to how do our brains think? What visually feels like I'm gathering the idea. It makes sense to me. All right. From here, we can obviously create new relationships as well. So we have all our tools at the very top. This probably all looks very familiar, not just to EdrawMind, but if you're using other word processing apps, if you used anything since like the late 90s, basically, all this looks the same. Our toolbox, just selecting, we can create our shapes. So whatever we're trying to do. Our relationships. We can also insert things. So we mentioned clip art before. Let's say something, we don't even need to have, maybe our website, we can do something with calendar. So calendar is going to be related to actually implementing a fix, right? So now we can take things even further and say, oops, now we need to fix what's going on here. So I'm going to move this over here. As you can see, I automatically resized our template, or our workspace rather. And over here, this is where we can discuss what needs to be done as far as scheduling things to get fixed. Do we have the resources? So let's take this even further. What do we want to use? All right, so over here, we're going to discuss, do we have the resources? Do we have a fix? Actually, I'm going to do this a little bit differently here. Sorry for confusing you. But I want to instead do it this way. Again, this is a great way, as you're just seeing me doing this kind of like off the cuff a little bit. But the benefit, again, is that we have a great tool that makes sense, easy to use. You are going from here. So update the system support page. Do we have an existing fix? And I'm just briefly showing you here how we can do something like from one of those previous examples we just looked at with yes, no statements. Do we have a previous fix? We can do our yes, no's. So do we have an existing fix? Do we want to try AI for this? No, let's not do it for that one. That's a little bit too complicated. So we can do our yes. We can do our no. And then from here, we can build out. So what would you do if you do have an existing fix? All right, so we can just make it, let's again, keep it a little bit simple. This will be our end one, right? Yes, we do. Implement fix. Boom. I'm going to fill this with nice green color, showing that we've ended there. Boom, happy. No, we don't. Okay. Let's see. Contact IT team. And then they'll implement the fix. And there we go. So that's, again, a way we took an existing flowchart. We changed the name. We changed how some of these things worked based on our process, our business, whatever we're working on. And we even expanded it a little bit further here to make it make sense for what we're doing. Again, we can continue on with the theme. We have all our colors right here at the bottom. So no, that's a bad color. Green, that's kind of good. So following along with that, do we have a fix? That's a questioning color, right? And then here we can change that color to something else. That's like kind of related there. And there we go. That's our business chart right there. Going back home, let's talk about what else we've got here. So again, we have other flowcharts here. So we can even try our AI one right now. And so we want to create a flowchart, right? So as you saw there, once we opened up our AI tool, it gives us our 4 different types of AI assistants: table, mind map, list, flowchart. So we're doing flowchart right now. And let's think about the flowchart process for, again, continuing on with the theme of video games, to make hyperlink pages. Is it possible to make a hyperlink of pages? Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. Let's try to show it in this example here. So process of publishing a video game. So again, like I was saying, using these tools, it's a great way to not learn just in school, but to actually figure out things for a business you're contemplating, whether you're trying to expand, get into a new industry. I want to learn more about the world of video games, and we used our previous tools that helped us. Which one was it? This one, creating a video game. So in our mind map here that we created in EdrawMind, this is telling us the overview of what it takes to create a video game. And now here, I know there's a lot of processes, a lot of yes, no statements. Let's see what we can do with our flowchart. Let's see. This one's taking a second, but boom. This one likes to hit you hard. It's like, here you go. Here's everything you need. Let's resize that a little bit. So, again, this might not necessarily make sense for what you're doing. If you have like a specific type of video game, a specific industry that you're trying to get into, indie, AAA, etc. A lot of other variables go into this. But like I said, as a starting point, how awesome. You're starting with your concept and design. Do you have one available? Is it finalized? No. Okay. A lot of no statements, a lot of yes statements. This is telling you the thought process of what it takes to create that. And you were asking about hyperlinks just now. So distribution and release. So let's say, for example, distributing it, what would be, I'm trying to think, where would you put it? Steam, right? Can we insert a hyperlink there? Format more, subscript. It's actually a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but let's see really quickly. Like I said, this is kind of like a learning process here for some people. Yep, hyperlink. Okay. So we can put, I don't even remember. Is it steam.com? Description. Steam publishing. Whatever it is, right? So there's our hyperlink. I know that's not the right website. What is it? Steam.io? No. Steam. Store.steampower.com. Okay. So we can, can I edit that? All right, it's still trying to open that link. Here, I think I can do it from here. Hyperlink. Boom. Steam publishing. Okay. So yes, to answer your question, we can do our hyperlinking within our mind mapping tool. Well, this is specifically for our flowchart, but the same applies because a lot of these tools overlap, like I was saying. So we can add our hyperlink there. If you want to jump back into EdrawMind really quickly and answer that, let's say programming development, what would it be? Post-release support. Again, this doesn't necessarily make the most sense with what we're trying to do. Expand on that. Address, post-release issue. I don't know. We'll add, let's say it's the official site, right? Boom. I believe we can do it here too. We should be able to. Mark, insert. No, hyperlink. There we go. Steam.com. No, dang it. We got the wrong website again. But you get the point. So we can put an internet address if we want, or if you're talking about hyperlinking within other parts, like other documents, like you can hyperlink. So you can be like, okay, we wanted to hyperlink the official site to another diagram we're doing. Provided we save them, we are able to do that. And I should have labeled these. But yes, to answer your question, hyperlinking is available. You can also see the other availability here. We have attachments. We can add notes, pictures. We had questions about the clip art if we want to change that. So we can actually, let's see if there's something game related. Ta-da! So we have our little image there, and we can add our hyperlink, whether it's to another part of this document, a completely separate document, or an external URL. So yes, great question. Again, just jumping back to our program here. The other really cool thing that I want to show before I wrap up is that we have other things in, sorry, just referring to my notes really quickly, making sure I didn't miss anything. I want to show you some other diagrams in EdrawMax. So let's search for something here. Business. It's like the only thing I know a little bit of. Ha ha ha. Business process, business analysis. Would that be like SWOT? If it's SWOT, I know SWOT a lot. Blank business segments, annual business growth. So a lot of great things here, business related. Let's talk about something more biology. Animal diagram, animal cell diagram, butterfly life diagram. This is going to be a really simple one, but it illustrates the concept of just how we can take something simple and beautiful like this, expand it into something absolutely crazy. There's a lot of great resources in our tools here for creating visualized mind maps, visualized diagrams, whether it's about science, whether it's about business, whether it's about history. And as we've shown, you can learn, you can expand upon ideas. It's a great starting point. It's a great way to take an idea even further. And even, again, say you're a teacher, for example, and you just want to explain in a beautiful way using colors that you know your students will like, using images that are simple, cute, something that they can relate to. Maybe it's you can even insert your own images. So say it's from their favorite cartoon or whatever. You have that ability to do that there too. And now you've just created a really great thing that you can print out. You can export as a PDF, use it in a presentation. And again, simple, but effective, because that, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about here. We want to create something that relays our idea in an effective way. If you do too much and people can't understand it, you don't even understand it. At the end of the day, it doesn't really help. So that's a very simple one there. I just wanted to show that one because it's very cute. But we can take it even further. Parts of a plant. So look, this is totally different than what we were just discussing, but it took a really beautiful image here. Again, we can insert our own image and then use our various tools, our different connectors, our different shapes, text, selection boxes, and our, again, whether it's a mix of clip art, like we were saying earlier, because there's a lot of symbols, there's a lot of clip art here. We can insert pictures, icons, clip art, people, technology. Look at all these themes here. It's just, it goes on and on. Religion, tourism, media, sports. So again, we can create something very, I'm so sorry, unique and individualized to what we're working on, whether it's basketball, scuba diving, snorkeling, and add in those elements really quickly. Or of course, if we have our own library of assets from our own folder, we can go ahead, drag, drop, and do that really quickly too. So last thing I wanted to show you is, for example, just showing you again, that's one end of the spectrum. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, basic electrical circuits and logic. Look at all these that you can just do super quickly. Some of these are premium, so you will need a premium account, but even under the more basic account tiers, you can see there's still a lot of options available for you for systems. So you can use this in a real business, a real working team setting. And like we were showing earlier, using our share icons, we can share it with our other team members. Will it work? Clicking and pasting. So I see that you've asked clicking and pasting web link. Yeah. So I hope I answered that earlier. If not, you can ask again. But I think I answered that by showing you the different ways we can hyperlink there. So yep, there's that. And I'm just going back to my notes really quickly here. Visualize memorization. Okay. So again, a lot of different directions, a lot of different ways that we can use our tools here. The one last thing I want to emphasize is how we can, again, use these different tools for, let's say you're in the medical field, right? I'm trying to think of a medical infographic. Alzheimer's medical. Yeah. So I'm sure, thank God I'm not, but say you're a medical student, for example, this is just another direction we can take this in for memorization, for basically, we're using our program here like flashcards. We can print this off, we can fill this in as it makes sense. Honestly, I'm not too familiar with this, but like I said, as appropriate, you can use this as a starting point and um, use it as a studying tool. So I think that's really great. So just summarizing what we've gone over here, look at all the different kinds of flowcharts, diagrams, and things that we can use to learn, things that we can use to visualize ideas between our program here in EdrawMax, as well as EdrawMind. Honestly, like I was saying earlier, if you just want to get started with one, EdrawMind is a lot easier to dip your foot in, just test the waters. And I think it's going to feel the most familiar to a lot of you, especially those still in school, because mind mapping is a very powerful tool that a lot of us are using all the time right now. And between the local templates, between the gallery of templates that you can use, as we've shown again, as well as just creating ones absolutely fresh or using the power of AI to create one. Very powerful tools at your disposal. So, wrapping up right now, we're a little bit over our 1 hour mark, but I just wanted to see if there were any other questions here regarding our tools. As I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to pull up our websites again so we can just go over the resources available to you. So I don't see any questions right now. So let's just quickly summarize everything. We've got EdrawMax. So you can just visit our website there, EdrawMax, and we'll have the links, of course, in the video as well, .wondershare.com. Free download. You can also buy your subscription there. And you can see all the platforms that it's available on as well. A great resource selection. There's the blog. There's the explore the different templates. You can see how other businesses have implemented the tools. So again, if you're just trying to figure out, does this tool make sense to me? How can I actually utilize it? We went over a number of examples here, so hopefully that gives you a great idea as well. But if not, hey, we have a lot of other resources on the page as well. So please check that out. See how these diagrams work. And like I said, there's also other resources for YouTube videos linked back to our YouTube channel. If you want to learn about them, you can see some testimonials there, some great feedback about our tools. And the same applies for EdrawMind as well. The link to it, the link to buy the subscription if you want to buy that as well. If you feel that it's a good fit, you can see all the really cool companies and teams also using our tool already. And then you can see how, we didn't go over Gantt charts, but you can see how that works. Learn a little bit more about some of the things that we discussed, whether it's brainstorming, your outlining, which we did go over, the presenting, so you finished it, and then just our Zen mode, you know? A lot of cool things here. And like I said, you can take it even further. Look at the specific YouTube videos explaining the different tutorials of those and more. Hey, you're welcome. And I think that's probably a good place to wrap it up there. So I really appreciate those who have been watching. There's a lot to go over with these tools, but like I said, the purpose of today's video was to kind of, because I know even myself, you know, there's a lot of overlap between these tools. Which one should I use? Which one is right for me? And giving you a good rundown as to how you can get started with these tools and some of the amazing things that you can do with them, as well as some of the new AI features that we've recently added. So thanks again for watching this video. Again, we really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll actually pull that up right now as I say my goodbyes. We have, there I am. Here we are, Wondershare eDraw. You can see all our awesome videos. Be sure to subscribe. Like I said, we've got a lot of great tutorials on here. I haven't been publishing as much on here, but I'll be getting back into the groove. and giving you some more tutorials. There's my awesome face. There I am. Hey. But that'll be it for today, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, you can leave it in the comments below of this video, or you can contact us directly. And that can actually help inspire us for some of our future content, which will be published